Hello friends, good morning to all of you. So I'm back with another video on sociology optional subject for UPSC CSE mains examination. And friend, you already know that we are covering social thinker section 4 of paper 1, and in this video we are going to cover the concept of pattern variables by Talcott Parsons. So friend, please do these 3 hours as it will really motivate me to continue this awesome course free of cost for you, and please comment and like the video and ask any doubt if you will have, and please don't forget to subscribe the channel, hit that red button. So let's get started. In this video we are covering Talcott Parsons and his concept of pattern variables. We have already covered Karl Marx, Emile Durkheim, Max Weber, and the Talcott Parsons is also completed by this video. So let's get started friends. These are the theories of Talcott Parsons that we will have to study. The first one is social system, and the next one is pattern variables. We have already covered social system. In this video we are covering pattern variables. Let's get started. So in order to develop concepts which could reflect the properties of all action systems, Parsons was led to a set of concepts which could bring about the variable properties of these systems, and these concepts are termed as pattern variables, and it is an established way of doing the things. Everybody behave in an established manner, everybody behave in the same manner as we expect. For example, shopkeeper will behave like shopkeeper, autowala will be like autowala, and milkman like a milkman. So there are 700 million people are living in the world in such a manner that no one have any problem with each other. When someone interact with us beyond our expectation, then he exploit the pattern. And in relation to motivational orientation and value orientation, motivational orientation basically means motives or the psychological aspect, as I already told you, and the value orientation means the cultural aspect of the society. And in the performance of roles, each actor face dilemmas, and these dilemma emanate from strains in an individual choice or preference within a range of orientations, and both are related to the needs and to the value. And these dilemmas are were dichotomous in character. That means they have divided in the two parts, and all there are in all 5 pattern variables, and each side of it represent one extreme pole. And these pattern variables are: the first one is affectivity versus affective neutrality, the second one is self orientation versus collective orientation, third one is universalism versus particularism, fourth one is ascription versus achievement, or goal versus performance, or sorry, quality versus performance, and the fifth one is specificity versus diffuseness. Now, affectivity versus affective neutrality concerns the dilemma of role performance, where evaluation is involved in a relation to a situations, or we can say it is a dilemma of showing emotions. For example, doctor do not have any emotions for patients, and if will have emotions, that he will not able to do the job of doctor. And the mother shows her emotions to his son or daughter. The second one is self orientation versus collectivity orientation. Similarly, in self orientation versus collectivity orientation, pattern variables are the main issue. With orientation pattern variable, the main issue is that of moral standard in the procedure of evaluation, dilemma of fulfilling interest, that is the society versus self. And for example, when two individuals are in love in village but they cannot marry because of collective orientation of society, that is village, but in city everyone prefers self orientation and ignoring the collective orientations. The third one is universalism versus particularism. Universalism versus particularism is a pattern variable which defines the role situations where the actor's dilemma is between cognitive versus the kinetic or emotional standards evaluation. A very good example of the role adhering to universalistic standard of human behavior are role performance, which is go strictly by legal norms and legal sanctions. If one abides by the rule of law irrespective of personal kinship or friendship consideration, then that would be an example of the universalistic mode of role preference. And if one violates legal norms only because the person involved is a kin or a friend, then particularistic consideration would be says to be operating. Parson says that in societies where the role of bureaucracy of formal organizations and modern institutions have become widespread, there the dilemma of universalism and particularism have become a matter of choice in everyday life. The fourth one is ascription versus achievement. The actor's dilemma in the ascription versus achievement pattern variable is basically based on whether or not the actor defines the object of his or her role either in terms of quality or the performance. In India, a very good example of this pattern variable is the role performance, which is governed by the caste system. In the caste system, the status of persons are determined not on the basis of their personal achievement or the personal skills or the knowledge, but on the basis of their birth. Ascription is based on assigning certain quality to a person either by birth, age or sex or kinship or race, whereas in achievement it is based on personal acquisition of skills and level of performance in society. The fifth one is specificity versus diffuseness. The specificity versus diffuseness pattern variable concerns the scope of the object of role preference. That is the dilemma of scope of relationship. For example, scope in this case is to be understood in terms of nature of social interaction, and in city, as you know, that we have very less scope of relationship, that is means specificity, that is a relation between doctor and patient, so it forms a standard procedure or the rules and interaction, or we can say standard interactions. But in village we have very big scope of relationship, that means diffuseness, that is friend, family. Here we have personal relationship and the scope is very high, we can talk about anything and share everything. But doctor and patients will be not having the diffuseness, they will belong to specificity. So the final thing is the pattern variables according to Parsons not only define the nature of role interaction and role expectation in social system, but provide in addition the overall direction in which most members of a social system choose their roles. So it also gives us an idea about the nature of social system. For instance, take the family as a social system. The role expectations within the family among its members can be said to be affective, largely collectivity oriented, particularistic, ascriptive and diffuse. On the contrary, take the example of your membership in a medical association or bar association, or we can say student association. Here role expectation and standards of role performance would largely oriented towards pattern variables of affective, neutrality, self-orientation due to competition, universalism, achievement and specificity, but these are extreme examples. So in real life, the dilemma of choices in terms of pattern variables are much more precarious and full of strain that we find in the example that are mentioned above. So friend, thank you for watching this video and listening me, and please friend do Sriyas as I am really working hard for you, and please hit that red button to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.